Hi, everybody, and welcome to Module 7. You've made it so far in the class. You should be really proud of all the hard work that you've done. I enjoy taking a look at your drafts and just all of the things that you've done to progress through the class and the way you've been applying the feedback. I think is just wonderful. So let's take a walk through Module 7 together. You may have noticed that really what we're going to be doing Module 7 is working on revising our drafts. So go ahead and click on the Modules button on the left and then scroll down until you get to Module 7, and we'll start as usual with that overview. So click on the overview, and once you're there, you'll see that you're going to be applying any feedback that you received on your draft as you create a revision of this for the final turn-in at the end of the class. So you are going to be reflecting on my feedback and the peer feedback you've received, and then any feedback that you receive from our writing mentor, who will be hosting workshops if you would like to get some more advice and details on how to revise. It's always good to get multiple perspectives and to consider all the different feedback that you're getting as you revise. So you will be revising your draft and also possibly your ad, the multimodal component, or the PSA. So if I didn't make any comments for you on that, then there's no revisions to be done on that unless your classmates suggest some things that you think are wonderful and you'd like to do some revisions. So go ahead and click the Next button. And you'll see that we have some top hat materials to complete for Module 7. As usual, you'll work through those first and turn them in before you turn in any of the other assignments during Module 7. So go ahead and click the Next button. And you'll see here that we have some additional learning materials, but that no submission is required. These are just for you to watch and learn more about. And they are resources for proofreading and editing, which is a great additional resource for you as you put together the final, very detailed draft, very polished, that you'll be turning in. So go ahead and click the Next button, and that's going to bring you over to the overview and purpose for our revised draft. So we estimate revising your draft may take about 4 to 5 hours. So you may want to set aside a little time each day during the revising process so you don't get too overwhelmed, and also so that you can step back and get an objective perspective on your writing. Sometimes when we step away, it's easier to see some of the things that we would like to change. So that is what we will be doing. And so you will see in the overview that the revised draft is really a culmination of all the work you've completed so far on the project, and it should be a substantial revision of the feedback draft that you submitted. So if you will scroll down here, you'll see the instructions for the revision project. So you will substantially revise the content of your draft using the feedback that you received from peers, instructor, and mentor. And you'll also be taking a look at all of the previous feedback that you've received. And then in step 2, you'll ensure your draft meets all project requirements by using the draft rubric. And step 3, you're going to be evaluating your revision process. So after you complete your draft, you're going to write 2 to 3 paragraphs of a revision self-assessment, and that will be at the end of your draft. I like to take a look at those to see the different things that you worked on, the different pieces you found important. And so I always look forward to reading your self-assessments. So if you keep scrolling down, you'll see that step 4 is to submit the revised draft. And then there are the submission requirements listed here. This should look familiar to you. You've seen it before. Don't forget to include your advocacy ad or your video PSA. If you keep scrolling down, you'll see that rubric that I mentioned. And this is what I'll be looking for during the review of your revised draft. You can see that major changes may be necessary to your draft. Usually these are structural or have to do with the way that you laid out your arguments, or maybe some of you did not focus specifically on an audience and have a memo or letter that was addressed correctly. You'll be reviewing your argument section for a clear thesis, strong structure, and making sure that you are staying formal and neutral in your tone, and that you include your tailored arguments that include the two alternatives, the two counter arguments, the rebuttals, and the conclusion with a call to action. Notice here you'll also need those 6 credible secondary sources and 1 primary source. And as I mentioned before, you'll be also submitting that PSA or advocacy ad. And then you should be meeting all of the correct formatting conventions for your citations. It should be an APA style, and your reflection. This is the self-assessment that explains why you made the choices you did in revising your draft. And that pretty much wraps up what we'll be doing for this section here. As soon as that you've got your revised draft, you can turn that in, but I won't be taking a look at it until after the due date has passed. So hopefully you have some good luck with the revisions, and you've received some good feedback. And please, as always, reach out with any questions that you might have during this process, and have a great week.